My cousin, Monet, the other Phelpses, they might still be on the way here. Certainly all of my friends, my Humana family. Humana, raise your hand. My Wesley Church family, they're here. I see the twins, Pastor D. My best friend from law school, Brandon Edwards, is here. I see my childhood best friend, David Simpson. He and his parents, they gave me my first King James version of the Bible in high school. And as you all can see, I have not put that book down.
Amen.
So, to you all for being here. And I would be remiss, or whatever you want to call it, if I did not recognize my rock. The better half to me. Some of you all know him as Michi, Key Vocal, DJ Energetic, Minister Simmons, Pastor Simmons, and the few know him maybe as Chandra. Yes. And people always say, well, how do you put up with it? And the reality of the situation is that I know him as Pastor Demetrius Asby Simmons. Woo. So if he continues to follow that path that God has laid before him, I ain't going nowhere. That being said, I have no problem admitting that I am not a biblical scholar. I am nobody's reverend, minister, deacon. It's been so interesting the last few weeks. Oh, so you've been called? When did that become the standard for somebody getting in the pulpit? So I haven't been called to preach. That's why I've been telling you all to come hear me preach. And with that said, we will
preach, brother.
I will preach.
Preach, preacher.
From Ephesians 1:11. I'll give you all time to, I guess, pull that out or get that ready. I'm just going to read the first Ephesians chapter 1, verse 1. Or I think it's 1 second. This is that part where y'all say amen.
Amen.
It's Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11. If anybody needs a moment, say, hold up.
Hold up.
All right.
Amen.
Ephesians 1:11. Anybody still need a moment?
Go
All right. It says, in him we have obtained an inheritance, having been predestined according to the purpose of him who works all things according to the counsel of his will. In him we have obtained an inheritance. Now, a preacher would give you a title. I'm going to give you a title, but remember, I'm not a preacher. If I had to give this message, this preach a title, it would be, what are you doing with your inheritance?
All right. Come on.
This is a story that a lot of people don't know, but when I was about to graduate from law school, I got a call from one of my deans maybe 3 days before law school, and she let it be before graduation, and she told me that I had failed a class and that I would not be graduating. She was sympathetic, but she really didn't care, and she said, don't worry about it. You'll still be able to walk across the stage with your class, and in that envelope is just a piece of paper. Your degree is not going to be in the envelope. It's a piece of paper that tells you where to go to pick up your degree. So nobody will ever know that you failed this course. You'll just need to come back, take another class, and then you eventually will get your Juris Doctorate degree. You can still sit for the bar exam. I mean, it was just like she was like, again, she wasn't really sympathetic. She was just doing her job. And so what she didn't know is that I had family members coming all over to see me walk across the stage, to see me get my law degree, but that was not going to happen. But when I tell you about the goodness of God,
come on.
Because this was a class, it was called Decedents of Estates, Wills, and Trusts. My best friend from law school is shaking his head. It's a class that wasn't really difficult, but the professor, not to defame or disrespect, but she kind of was like Miss Frizzle on the Magic School Bus. And so for me, that was like distracting. Like I couldn't really grasp the legal concepts because in law school, we don't play, we don't laugh, we don't smile. We're trying to get our grades. We want to get to the top of the class. We want to become lawyers, and we don't play in law school.
That's it, lawyers.
So, long story short, I needed to get 4 credits because it was a 4-credit course. I needed $3,200 more to pay for the classes. Then I already gave you about $60,000 for my law degree, but now they want $3,200 more just to get those 4 credits. By God's grace, 2 leaders in the community stepped up. One said, I got $1,600. If you can find somebody else who can match the other $1,600, you're going back to get those 4 credits. Not only did I find somebody else with $1,600, but I got those 4 credits in 2 weeks. One class. They was each, for the first time ever, the University of Louisville was offering 2 special summer courses. They were each 1 week. One class was pass-fail, so you just showed up, participated, and you got a certificate. So in addition to getting my law degree, I'm certified in restorative justice conferences.
Come on.
And the other class was another week, and it was conservation of farmland in America. And we was on farms in Lexington, Frankfurt, all over the state of Kentucky, playing with pigs, ducks, geese, goose, whatever.
I like ducks.
Again, in law school, we don't take field trips, but we took a field trip every day for a week, got those 4 credits, got my Juris Doctor degree.
Come on now.
And I say all of that to say that the class that I took, Decedents Estates, that kind of reminds me of religion, to the extent that the Bible is a will.
Well.
And God has left us an estate,
Come on.
an inheritance.
Come on.
The estate would be this world.
Come on.
And his will, just like black folks in probate court, we debate the wording and what this means. We need to be spending more time focused on the words contained in his
Come
will
on, doctor.
than the wording of his will. Christ Hope, what are you doing with your inheritance? We've been given an inheritance by God. What are you doing with your inheritance? Our people are hurting and no one seems to care. It's interesting because we went through the dinosaur age, the stone age, the enlightenment age. I personally feel like we're living in the age of ratchetness.
Come on. Tell the truth.
World star hip hop.
Tell the truth.
Sharkeisha, no.
Yeah, Sharkeisha.
Sweet Browns, ain't nobody got time for that. Twerk, Mally, twerk, Mally. I'm not here to condemn or to judge. Don't get my screech confused. Just stay with me. I'm going to bless you.
Come on now.
If y'all notice, Chandrella been MIA. She's been missing in action. You haven't seen a few videos lately.
Pray for her.
My hope is that she comes back as an activist. That she comes back and she talks about poverty and world hunger and injustice. Some people call it coonery. I understand the power of comedic relief. We should laugh, we should joke, we should play, but in laughing, joking, and playing, we must understand the seriousness of the times that we're living in.
Yes, yes.
We have work to do. We've been given an inheritance. What are you doing with your inheritance? People get caught up so much in the American dream. Barack Obama has lived the American dream. I got a job at Ford, I'm making $19.62 an hour, and I got a house in Newburgh with a white picket fence. I've lived the American dream. Not to defame Newburgh or Ford Motor Company, but the reality of the situation is that you are living God's promise, not the American dream. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen? I told you, I act like y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. And all that means is just I gotta keep talking and explaining my point. So if y'all want to say amen and give me some energy, I promise I'll sit down and I'll be quiet.
Amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance states that we are one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. And we spend so much time being, instead of indivisible, we are really divisible. We're so divided. Black, white, dark skin, light skin, Asian persuasion, Democrat, Republican, Delta, AKA, sinner, saint, OMG. We're all trying to get to the same destination. Everybody wants to go to heaven, right?
Come on.
Right? We're all trying to get to the same destination. The God that I serve is not so incompetent and trifling and narrow-minded that when you get up to the gates, he's going to determine who gets into heaven based off of these trivial things that we are so divided over. You got to be kidding me.
Come on.
I'm going to preach just a little while longer. We have work to do, and it's no secret that I am a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I saw my line brother somewhere, Captain Lawrence Lyons. He served two tours of duty in Afghanistan and I believe Iraq, so shout out to Captain Lyons. But right now I'm just going to shout out one of the founders of another fraternity known as Alpha Phi Alpha. I don't think we have any alphas in the building, but I know we got a AKA, so I'm going to shout out your bros right now. But there was a founder of Alpha Phi Alpha, and he said that we must fight until hell freezes over, and then we must continue on the ice.
Well,
That is a powerful, powerful statement, because first of all, black folks don't ice skate.
Come on.
Nancy Reagan, Tripp, what was her name, Tanya Harding in the 1990s? We ain't been ice skating since black folks don't ice skate. But what Vertner is saying is that the task will go on. We will forever be fighting. There's so much injustice, there's so many travesties in this world that we're going to fight until hell freezes over, and then we're going to continue on the ice. Now, first of all, hell ain't going to freeze over, so we know we're going to be fighting for a long time.
Yeah.
And if in the unlikely, impossible event that hell freezes over, black folks, we got to still fight on the ice. Our journey is going to go on forever and a day.
Come on.
But we come from the souls of kings and queens in Africa. We are the people of Martin, Malcolm, Thurgood, Chisholm, Barack Obama, and others. We have so much power already within us. I look around in this room and I see all kinds of talented people, most of us under 40. We are that generation that is going to make a change in this world. We have work to do.
Yes.
We've been given an inheritance. What are we doing with the inheritance that we've received?
Mm-hmm.
We're taking it and we're squandering it on foolishness. And I'm not immune. I'm not perfect. That's one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have about me. Oh, you think you're so perfect? I'm not perfect. My friend right there of 20 years, Andrew Winston, he can tell you every crazy, dramatic, imperfect situation. I'm only 27. I've known him for over 20 years. He can write a book about how imperfect I am. But in terms of our foolishness, I have to call out a few places in our great city. There's a place on Bardstown Road. It's called Nowhere Bar. We've all been there. And to be honest, because if I'm going to do this preaching thing, I have to be honest. I'm going to tell the truth. A lot of people don't like me because I'm honest. I was at Nowhere Bar last night, and it was just a nice place. When it first opened, the drinks, they were cheap. The music was good. There was no admissions price. And you could kind of joke around. Where are you going tonight? Oh, nowhere. I mean, you can literally joke around with that, so it was cute. But for some people who are not using their inheritance, that's exactly where their lives are going. Nowhere.
Yeah. Well.
And I'm not calling out anybody in here in particular. I'm just saying you have to understand the balance of working hard, the balance of having fun, but recognizing that we've been given an inheritance. There's a new club called Club Play. It's a multi-million-dollar investment. It's really nice. I've been there plenty of times, but there's no diversity on the staff. The prices are high. The drink prices are high. The music is horrible. Feel free to go club and play at Club Play, but just don't play all the time. We've been given an inheritance from God. What are we doing with our inheritance?
Yeah.
I've seen some stares and some blank faces at me, so I'm not even going to go into the other two.
No, go ahead.
I'll save them for a different preach.
Talk about cold.
I'm not going to go any further. I'm getting a few looks that people I don't know uncomfortable with.
Talk about coals.
The doors of the church
Tell the
are
truth.
open.
Tell the truth.
Some of you might not be familiar. Somebody said talk about coals. To my understanding, coals for the
Yeah.
Joe's brother. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go have a good time. Please, go have a good time, but just recognize that we're going to have fun. We're going to be young, but we've been given an inheritance by God. So after we get finished with our twerk, let's get up and get to work.
Come on.
After, it's like, I'm not saying get your life together overnight. I'm not saying anything is wrong with your life. I'm just saying that we have been given an inheritance by God. I was talking with my good friend, mentor, and new boss, Humana. Those of you know, Humana, no man cannot hinder me. Humana cannot hinder me. So for those of you all at Humana, you all know by now I was fired on Monday, but I was hired on Tuesday as an associate attorney in the offices of Compton and Associates. Now my first case as an associate is going to be Phelps versus Humana.
Come
I
on.
was talking to my good friend, Nicole Compton, an amazing individual with a testimony and a story. And she's a candidate for Jefferson County District Court Judge. And I was talking about my speech, and I said, Nicole, I'm going to talk from Ephesians, and it's the part that says we've been given an inheritance. And I think I started rambling. Y'all know how us lawyers do. And she just cut me off, and she said, not only that, Courtney, we've been given dominion and power. And then she started preaching to me.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Preach, Nikki.
So we've been given an inheritance, Christ's hope.
Yes.
And even those who visit places like 4th Street Live, which to my understanding is the most, there's records indicating that they are one of the most racist and discriminatory places of business that the city of Louisville has. And so I would be confused as to why people would go there and continue to support their tactics. You know, when I encounter discrimination and racism, I'm just like, these people don't know we free.
Come on.
Now, Abraham Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, which really had no legal effect. It was an announcement. The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, that's what ended slavery. The 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution gave black folks rights and citizenship.
Talk about it.
We have to get to know our history, because if we don't know it, we are doomed to repeat it. And we are indeed repeating our history. Yes. A good friend of mine, Brother Jason Gardner, he said that the policing of freedom papers for enslaved blacks has now become the policy of stop and frisk. He said Missy Ann, the plantation owner's wife, is now Paula Dean. The old Angela Davis is the new CeCe McDonald. Emmett Till is Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Amadou Diallo, and even Louisville's own Adrian Reynolds. The KKK is now Tau Kappa Epsilon. Old Southern white men and white sheets are now young collegiate white boys in oversized basketball jerseys drinking out of watermelon cups at so-called black parties. We're repeating our history.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just going to add to that by saying that the media calling young black men thugs and hoodlums is their way of saying that nigga has broke the law. Can I preach? White Folk Church, can I preach? We have been given an inheritance, and I get so passionate and I get so worked up about justice and all those things because that's what I live for. Remember, I'm not nobody's reverend, deacon, minister, preacher. So don't talk about the preacher was saying bad words in the pulpit and the preacher did. No. The attorney spoke up against injustice.
Come on.
We've been given an inheritance and we have so much more work to do. 45 million Americans don't have health care. The Republicans want to impeach the only black president we've ever had simply because he's black and literally running the hell out of this country and giving us hope while doing it.
Yes.
We've got work to do.
Yes, sir.
People want to ask felons to disclose their felony on a job application. Now, an individual committed a crime 15 years ago. They have served their time. They paid their debt to society. You don't want to hire them already because of the color of their skin, and then you want them to check that box that indicates that 15 years ago they did this, and this, so that you can lawfully deny them the job. Christ hope, we have work to do in our communities. My last radical point would be something that my friend from Howard and I used to say all the time. We used to say that there was a civil war taking place in the black community between the African Americans and the Negroes. And we said something else, but I'm going to just keep it light.
Yes, sir.
There is a civil war taking place in the black community between the African Americans and the Negroes have got to go. Christ hope, we have work to do.
Yes.
Even as I stand here preaching, there are homeless people out there. What are we doing with our inheritance? What are we doing as a church? What are we doing as the black church? Then I'm going to go into other topics, different preachers at different days, but I'm just so glad that I do not go to one of those BHM churches. Y'all know what BHM church is. I don't act like y'all don't know what a BHM church is. I go to 3 churches on Sunday. I start out at 8:30 with Pastor Simmons, 10:45 with Reverend Easley, and 5 o'clock here at Christ Hope with Yolanda Floyd. Now, there's many BHM churches. They, I think, popped up in the 1990s. It's churches where the pastor is BHM and the congregants are BHM. And some of them pretend not to be BHM, but the pastor has a Bentley, a helicopter, and a mansion, and the congregants have bills, hell, and misery. I'm so glad I don't go to one of those BHM churches. There are individuals in here, and I'm almost finished preaching, but if you take away nothing else that I've said today, take away the fact that we have been given an inheritance. We already got the power. We don't have to argue in probate court over what God gave to Deborah, what he gave to Philip, what he gave to Deacon Ford. We don't have to argue over what's ours. We already have the power. We've been given an inheritance by God. We must reinvest it. Go invest it in an education. Go invest it in a young person who needs mentoring. Go invest it in the poor, the sick, the homeless, the hopeless. Take your inheritance and don't squander it another day. A lot of people joke about me and they say, Courtney, you don't never sleep. You always on Facebook. I can send you something at 5 a.m. in the morning. You gonna respond. You don't never sleep. My friends in Howard and I, we used to always say that we will sleep when we're dead.
That's it.
We've got work to do. And our own Minister Corey Gardner isn't here today, but he knows how it's going to play out. I will sleep when I'm dead. Christ hope when I die, my family, they're going to get together. They're going to have some fried chicken. They're going to laugh. They're going to joke and they're going to play. And they might even get to arguing in probate court about what they're going to do with the 401k that I got. It ain't much, but that's just how a lot of folks do. And at some point, they're going to take me down to Perryman's Mortuary. Y'all know Perryman. 34th and Broadway. And there's going to be a service. Reverend Perryman, he's going to call Lonnie. He's going to call Ida. He's going to call Michi. And y'all going to preach. I'm sorry, y'all going to preach. Y'all going to preach.
Don't call me.
And then Perryman, he's going to put me in that, you know, that box. The choir going to sing. The Louisville Mass Community Choir that was assembled today, y'all going to sing. And they're going to take me to the grave site. And I just hope it's not that one in West Louisville where the grass is always high and they forever arguing about it. But then he's going to dump 6 feet of dirt on me and I will sleep when I'm dead. But while I'm here in this lifetime, I'm going to continue preaching because I've had fun today. I hope that I've said something that is going to be beneficial. I hope that I've reminded you all that we have been given an inheritance. We can continue to laugh and joke and play and have fun. Don't take my speech the wrong way in any way. The only way to know what I really meant or what I was really saying, if you have some kind of issue, is to ask me what I really meant or what I was really saying. And I will gladly tell you. Christ hope, we've been given an inheritance. What are you doing with yours?